Here in the UK, the weather temperature has plummeted over the past week or so. So I think now is as good a time as ever to show you some of my favourite pieces to keep warm this winter. I'll talk you through each piece in detail and show you what they look like on body. I'll also leave links to them or some suitable alternative down in the description box below. And for reference, I'm 5'10", around 140 pounds, and I typically wear a 29-inch waist. First up, I teased this in a recent video, the incredible fisherman's jumper from Blue de Chauffe. Although it's actually listed as the seaman sweater on their website, a very unfortunate translation. Nevertheless, this jumper is honestly one of the best quality pieces of clothing I've ever owned. As they say on their website, it's a piece that has clearly been made to last years and years. It's made of a double yarn cotton in a beaded rib stitch to give it that traditional fisherman look. And believe me when I say this thing is heavy weight. Definitely made for the winter weather. You almost never need a layer on top of this because it's so thick and warm. It has the chunkiest collar I've ever seen as well. It's hand grafted to make it more resistant and slightly raised, giving it a distinct look while also making it easier to put on and take off. The sleeve cuffs and hem are super wide, adding to that distinctive look. Although I quite like to fold the hem up just to make the jumper sit a bit higher around my waist. I'm wearing a size small, by the way. It's quite snug, even though they call it a slightly relaxed fit. I guess the true original fisherman jumpers were probably very tight by design. This was made in France by very clearly skilled people. It's a piece they're really proud of, and you can see why. Next up, possibly one of the most difficult pieces to get hold of this year, the mohair jumper from Destructive. I say that because this thing keeps selling out in the grey colour, although it is still available in black. This reminds me of the Marni and Ami Paris mohair jumpers that have been so popular these past few years, but of course at a fraction of the price. And actually, I think I prefer these ones because of the fit. It's quite short in length, yet really wide across the chest with oversized sleeves and drop shoulders. Really similar fit to that bare knuckles cropped sweater that they released years ago, and is still a grail piece for me. I've gone for an extra small in this, which still gives me the slightly oversized look as intended, without feeling like I'm drowning in it. Although it's only a mohair blend, it still has a lovely feel to it, really fluffy and soft, and it's been keeping me warm this winter. I find this piece really easy to dress up with some trousers and a pair of loafers, or dress casually with some sneakers and relaxed pants, like I am here. So you might be wondering what shoes I was wearing in those first two fits. Well, they're both from today's video sponsor, Goral. Goral are a bit of a hidden gem at the moment, but it won't be long until they blow up, especially with their recent releases. They've been around for over 80 years, and the company is still run by the same Goral family. Everything is handmade in England from the most premium materials. The Sharmans have catapulted their way up to become one of my favourite pairs of boots ever. Firstly, I just love the look of them, a classic 8-eye derby silhouette with a rounded toe box and chunky sole. They're made from Horween Chrome XL full grain leather. Horween is well known for being one of the best tanneries in the world, and whenever you buy leather goods which are built to last, it's probably from there. These come in a few colours, but I got them in the natural Horween because I want to see them get a nice patina as they age and get used more. And these will last a lifetime since they have a resolable Blake stitch construction and a lifetime repair guarantee. I wore the Sharmans for a week straight in Copenhagen recently, and they held up really well in the cold and rainy weather. I went true to size. There's a bit of wiggle room at your toes, which is good because you can wear them with some thick socks. The second pair of shoes are called the Smugs. These were co-designed by the most well-known shoe tuber, Rose Anvil. If you've watched any of his stuff, you know that he's meticulous when it comes to shoe quality, construction, and comfort, and he's put all that knowledge into one package here. The idea behind the Smugs is that they're sneakers that are truly built to last and will only get better with age. So just like the boots, they're made of Horween Chrome XL leather and have a resolable Blake stitch construction. Basically, they're built like a high quality pair of boots, yet they have the look and comfort of designer sneakers. I don't think I know any other sneakers on the market that are resolable like this. And I also don't think I know of any that are made of such tough, high quality leather. As you can see, I went for the black, but they come in a few lovely colours. You can also pick different soles, either black, white or gum like I have here. I really like the contrast against the black leather. For sizing, I went true again, but these fit a bit bigger than the boots. Half a size down would have been ideal, so I've just stuck an insole in them, and they're perfect now. I love the look of these because they're like a Chuck Taylor, except really high quality. I'll leave links to both of them down in the description box below. You really need to check them out if you want some high quality shoes that are gonna last forever. Next up, this should be a staple in everyone's winter rotation in my opinion, the Patagonia Snap Tee Cinchilla Fleece. This has to be one of the most classic and versatile pieces of cold weather clothing. Not only does it look great and fit really nicely, but they're affordable, come in a huge variety of colours and patterns, and they actually keep you warm. I lucked out a bit on this one. I only paid £35, yet it's a properly vintage Patagonia that was made in the USA, so it probably dates back to the 90s or so. I've also never seen this colourway before. It's a proper cream colour, quite a lot of yellow in it, with a dark green pocket and piping. I have this mainly as a mid-layering piece on those extra cold days. It's perfect to have underneath a waterproof jacket, like that acronym I just picked up. The sizing is also generous enough to allow for a hoodie or sweater underneath it. This is a size medium, but to be honest, I find the sizing all over the place with these. I've had extra smalls which are huge, and larges which are tiny. I also think that it looks great on its own, and is a really nice cozy top to wear around the house. As I said, an absolute staple for me. If you haven't got one of these yet, what are you doing? Here's one I showed off last winter, and it's time to bring it out again. The chunky, heavyweight Aran cable knit jumper. In many ways, this is similar to that Bleu de Choff fisherman jumper. I'd say this is equal in weight and thickness, and also has that sturdy raised collar. And you could wear this in the same occasions you'd wear the Bleu de Choff jumper. It doesn't really need a top layer, it's just so thick, warm, and cozy. Where it differs is firstly the material. This is 100% Irish wool and was also made in Ireland. This gives it a very different feel on the body and also has some advantages that come with wool, such as the water resistance and temperature regulating properties. Another difference is of course the design. This has those classic Aran patterns in the cable knit which give it a really distinctive look. Also, I'm not sure if this is 100% correct, but I believe these types of jumpers would have been worn by both farmers and fishermen off the west coast of Ireland. You can find these absolutely everywhere online. I'd recommend a vintage one to get that true experience. A lot of the newer ones aren't even wool and they're way more expensive as well. Mine doesn't have a size on it. Your best bet is to ask the seller for the dimensions and figure out if it will fit you. I think these jumpers go with absolutely anything, especially during winter, and they keep you super warm. Next up, how could it be a winter fashion video without some cozy bottoms? And they don't get much cozier than these that bathers sent over. They're made from a really loose weave, large loop French terry cotton, giving them this super relaxed and stretchy feel, and also just making them really comfortable and soft. They're heavyweight and durable, but also because they're unstructured and that weave is so open, they feel breathable. I went for a size extra small, but it's one of those things you could probably buy in any size, because they have that stretchy waistband. And they're gonna look good oversized if you want to go up a size or two. I've got a few things from Bather and they never disappoint. The majority of their stuff is made in Canada from good quality fabrics, including these jogging bottoms. You're very likely going to find me wearing these most of the time this winter. Okay, this next one was not on my radar at all until I stumbled upon it when I was out Christmas shopping recently. It's the Spey wax jacket from Barbour. This has become maybe one of my favourite jackets in my rotation. It's just an absolute stunner. Let's start off with the fit. As you can see, short and boxy, right up my street. The Spey is actually a fishing and wading jacket, so it's short by design to allow for that. As we see time and time again, things that were made for work or a specific purpose often have the best fits. I believe they only recently reintroduced this model to their lineup. I think they stopped producing it at one point, but it was brought back by popular demand. It's especially sought after in Japan, and we know that they lead the way when it comes to fashion. It's in the rustic colour, which is super unique. At first I thought it was just black, but then they do a black version as well, so it didn't make sense to me. Rustic is actually more of an orangey dark brown, although you can only see it in certain light. I think the colour will become more apparent as the jacket starts to show some wear. There's multiple versions of the Spey, and as I said, mine is the waxed one. So it's going to be waterproof and have that shiny look to it. I've had Barbour jackets in the past, but they've always been second hand. This is my first from new, and I'm surprised at how sticky the wax is. But yeah, it'll probably harden and start to show some nice colouring the more I wear it. Some of you may have seen my Lee Ryder selvage jacket, which I absolutely adore. And I adore it so much, I bought another one, but this is the Lee Storm Rider. The main difference being that this one has a blanket lining, really similar to what you'd find in a lot of Carhartt jackets. So it's much more suitable for winter, it's noticeably thicker and warmer. This one is also vintage, whereas my other one is a lot newer. So this has a beautiful fade to the denim, which is also really soft, due to those decades of wear and tear. I love the contrasting corduroy collar as well, a brown collar with a denim jacket just never gets old. To be honest, this was another jacket I wasn't really actively looking for, but it popped up on Vinted for £35, and when I saw it was an older made in USA model, in my size of small, I decided to go for it. With these types of jackets, you can't really go wrong, because if I ever get tired of it, I will 100% be able to sell it on for at least the same money as I bought it for. Although I've actually seen these priced much higher, so I think I got a bit of a steal. However, I'm not looking to sell it on anytime soon. This has gone straight into my rotation and I've worn it a ton already. Next up, being a winter video, I of course had to show you a beanie. The one I'm loving at the moment is this that Bather sent over. I've been wearing it non-stop these past few weeks. I really like the way it fits me. Quite small, so it sits above the ears rather than over them. The colour is charcoal grey with multicolour flecks, but they're quite subtle. It's a fisherman style knit with the wide ribs, which is my favourite kind of beanie design. And as I said earlier, with a lot of Bather's stuff, this was made in Canada, which was great to see. It's a cotton blend, which is fine, although I think this would be so much nicer if it was 100% wool. And so there's a bunch of warm clothing that I am loving this winter. If I had to be really picky, I'd say I'm still missing a longer length winter coat, like a wool overcoat for example. But I'm not in any rush and I feel really good with what I have at the moment. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.